This is the same thing. So just to recall, type A, movement is characteristic. And we said all the physical and mental characteristics of these people. Type B, more or less, the causes of the imbalance in this type A. So because they are of a light build, any kind of physical strain makes them go into imbalance. Because they have irregular digestion and they have the components of air, dry, cold, movement. So anytime they have cold food, raw food, iced beverages, they go into imbalance. Because they have dryness and a tendency to constipation, anytime they have low fiber foods, they go into imbalance. If there is a change in their routine, supposing they skip their meals, or they go to sleep late at night, or they do frequent trips, again they go into imbalance. So for those of us who have predominantly this type A characteristic, we have to be cautious about these tendencies and make the choices accordingly. Whenever there is stress, they tend to react with anxiety. That is only prominent in them as a mental characteristic. We said, remember, type A, they are very anxious types. So if there is any stressful situation, they react with anxiety. Similarly, for grief, for fear, these also throw them off balance sometimes. Then we talked of type B. They are strong-willed, determined leaders. They have more of the heat element, the fire-water element. For them, causes of imbalance may be hot and humid weather because it is increasing the heat element in them. Severe sunburns, hot, spicy or oily food, too much salt in the food, all these will lead to imbalance because they already have heat, too much heat. Fermented foods like cheese, vinegar, sour cream, alcohol, all these cause imbalance. When they are in fatigue, they are very tired, that also causes imbalance. If they are stressed, remember we said if it is a type A personality and they are stressed, they react with anxiety. Type B personality, when they are stressed, they have anger, frustration, resentment. They are perfectionists, they make a lot of demands on themselves. They set very high standards for themselves and for others. They don't want to waste any time. They are very, very critical about these things. They are constantly working under pressure for things within a certain timeline, within a deadline. So that is their nature. So whenever there is pressure of deadlines, whenever there is excessive demands, then again they may go into imbalance. Coming to type C, we said these are people who tend to hold on to fluids, to fat, to their emotions, to their belongings. So when these people, what will throw them into imbalance is cold, damp weather, snowy or winter, spring weather. In that kind of weather, they usually feel very depressed. They go into imbalance because already there is a predominance of earth water. Now in this weather, that becomes more. So they go off into imbalance, they feel depressed. Diet. Diet, if they have a lot of sugar or salt or fatty or fried food, heavy food, cheese, milk, ice cream, those kind of things, it causes imbalance in them. If they sleep late for more than a few days in a row, they go off into imbalance. And they might have a hereditary tendency for obesity, for allergies, for diabetes. But again, it's only a tendency. It's not a sentence that it has to happen. So whenever such people gain weight, they feel very depressed. And when they feel depressed, they eat more. And then they gain more weight. How they respond or react to stress is, they withdraw themselves. They feel unwanted, they feel insecure. They just step back, move away from others. They can, in the state of imbalance, they can be very possessive. Like we were saying, they keep on holding on to things, storing and saving things. Even if they haven't used them in years and years, they still find it hard to give them up. And they are very clingy about the relationships. So they become dependent on relationships, or they become very overprotective, overpossessive in relationships whenever there is an imbalance. So what to do to correct this imbalance? Now you will find that these are some of the similar things that for all constitutions we can do. What is our characteristic? Based on that, what causes imbalance, that we can see. Beyond that, what we need to pay attention to do is our diet, our exercise, daily routine, seasonal routine. So when we are doing some regular exercise of the body, when we are synchronizing this with the daily routine and the seasonal routine, then there is health in the body. So again, it comes back to understanding. Understanding that I am not an isolated being. I am interconnected with the environment. And so, all of this, the daily routine, seasonal routine, all of that has an impact on the mind, on the body. So this correction of the imbalance in the different constitutions, this I think, you can take the copy of the slides, and you would have to spend some time going through and seeing for your characteristic what you can do to bring it in balance. What are some of the things that you could do? But largely, if you see, paying attention to the diet, paying attention to exercise, going by the daily routine will correct many of the problems for most constitutions. Of course, it is that even in nurturing food, like for instance, type A constitution, air has the characteristic of light. It's light. So if they eat very light foods, they tend to have problem. So like popcorn, it's very light kind of food. If they are already going into imbalance and they eat that kind of food, it will create more imbalance in them. So like that. But essentially, for the most part, the general things we can all take care of is our diet, exercise, going along with the daily routine. But then specific for our constitution, those details you will get from here. Okay? So constitution is lifelong. It doesn't keep changing. It is the same from birth till the end, till the death. It stays the same. But it is only a tendency. It's not that we don't have a choice. Here also we have a choice. Can we rise above these tendencies or these habit patterns? Certainly we can. At the level of the body, we said there is no choice, but at the level of the self, we have the ability to choose. We can choose our feelings, we can choose our thoughts, we can decide what instructions to give to the body, and we can make all the right choices so that we can keep both the self and the body healthy. These are tendencies, but we have the choice that we can go beyond these tendencies, overcome these tendencies. I hope everybody was able to do the Know Your Constitution chart and have been able to find their constitution. So any questions in all of this?
Like we say that by means of self-regulation we keep nurturing the body, and the first, that is by means of proposal, we know self is continuous and body is very temporary. And what decides then that timing, that means that body's survival time? Is that if I keep nurturing the body by means of self-regulation every day, can I extend the lifetime of the body?
Up to a limit.
Yeah.
Remember the first thing that we said about the principle, the body is a material unit, it obeys the material laws of nature. So up to a point, based on our choices, we can prolong the life. But if we are wanting to prolong the life of the body indefinitely, of course that will not happen, because it's not along the lines of the material laws of nature. The material law of nature is that it will undergo change and eventually decay, decompose, die. So that will happen.
So it is like if we are not regulated by the self, it will decay more.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you can see that even in small children,
Yes.
when they are eating a lot of junk food, they tend to fall sick more often. You will also find that, say you're traveling a lot and you're having very unhealthy diets, you will find that you fall sick more.
Yes.
So then, those are times when the body is going into disharmony for a short period of time, and if you're careful, it comes back into harmony. But if we continue the same pattern, it will stay in disharmony, and a point will come when it is no longer temporary, it's a permanent disharmony. Then you can't change that sometimes. So eventually, yes, the body obeys the material laws of nature. Within the purview of the material laws, you have some choices. But within those laws.
Okay. So is it like at the time of birth that extension is decided how much time? That we say temporary, it's like 60 years, 70 years. So
see, they say that the human body is designed to live at least 100 years.
At least.
At least.
Okay.
That is the design of the body.
Okay.
But how we take care of it, that depends on us.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Any other question? I think our time is also close to being up. So we'll just briefly go over this. On the basis of physical and mental characteristics, we have all these constitutions. Type A, Type B, Type C. Type A has a predominance of movement, dry, cold. Type B is related with heat. Type C is dull, sluggish, slow. And then there are various other combinations of that. So when there is balance in the constitution, or that means balance of these attributes, earth, water, fire, air, space, then there is health in the body. Whenever there is imbalance in the constitution or in the attributes, there is illness or disease. So to restore this health, to restore the balance, one important part is focusing on the proper diet. Another is to be careful about the routine. All this we'll talk about tomorrow. Exercise, your seasonal routine, and of course at the level of the self, having right feeling and right thought. Because that will also be responsible for not interfering with the body harmony. So that will lead to health in the body. Okay? So we have some, I think, announcements for tomorrow.
Everyone again for joining us for the day 2 sessions. So we have given the assignment for day 2. Tomorrow we can submit it, and tomorrow we'll go with sessions 7, 8, 9, where we'll be seeing about our intake of food, water, air and sunlight, and our daily routine. So today, in addition to the assignment, we have also given the health tracker form, that empty form. So we can all start filling that form. And on the last day, we'll discuss about that form also. And tomorrow morning, that first 15 minutes, we'll have sharing from each one of us about the constitution. So we'll share the PPTs of today till the 6 theory sessions and 2 practice sessions. We'll share it in the group. We can go through this constitution slide and see if our physical characteristics and mental characteristics match with our constitution, what we have identified. And we can share that tomorrow for the first 15 minutes from 8:30 to 8:45. Or you want
the constitution part. So you got the papers, you filled in. Has everybody been able to identify their constitution? Is there anybody who doesn't know what constitution they belong to? Okay, and you have all the slides with you. Now in the slides, we mentioned the characteristics of type A, type B, type C. We also mentioned what leads to imbalance for type A, type B, type C. Now whatever constitution you have come out with, check what kind of imbalances you have for your constitution. Then go to that yellow table in the slide which talks of how to correct that or how to balance the constitution. What kind of foods you can change, what kind of activities you can change. And then note that down. Is it making sense? Anybody who didn't understand what I said? So that you can do. Are we going to share it tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow morning. And
Okay.
tomorrow morning.
Okay, so maybe we can all see, do we have our constitution charts with us? Okay. So let's say constitution AC, BC. So let's separate out into our various constitutions. Let's see how many people come under what group. Okay, here is ABC, all three. Okay, ABC is here. Who else is ABC? Go there. BC. What about BC? Who all are BC?
It is like this way distributed. Which category are you?
See, maximum is this. And now you can see what are the characteristics that are not in balance. So we mentioned, find some of these characteristics in you. Imbalance is caused by all these things. Similarly for type B, type C. And to correct, we can do many things. So to correct the imbalance, what all we have to do based on our types, if it is BC, you have to look at this, you have to look at this, and so on. Then you can make your own health program based on what you think you need to do to improve the health of your body based on your constitution. Is that clear? This is what we need to do, and then tomorrow morning when you come, we'll do the sharing of this in the morning tomorrow. Okay? So if we haven't done it now, we can still do it as home assignment. We can make sure that we see where the imbalance is and try to correct it. The slides are there in the group, so you can refer to those slides. Anything else? One is, you are noticing what is the problem, what is causing the imbalance, and what you need to do to bring the balance. That. A further part of this is, now you write it down as your independent health plan. What is my health plan? Right now you can just write it on a sheet, what is my health plan? Then in your health tracker, you can put those points of what you want to do in your health plan and put a target date to it. Whatever date is right for you, that by such and such date, I want to have this accomplished. And then you can start filling your health tracker also. Is it clear? Confusion? That's okay. That's why we choose the majority.
That is what you are calling as imbalance?
No. See, we just mentioned, right? See, for type C, these are the things that are causing imbalance. For type B, these are the things that are causing imbalance. And if you want to balance your constitution, what you need to do, that you see over here. The generalized way of seeing is you have to do all this to balance your constitution, but the details you will see here. These are some of the things what you need to do, how to correct that imbalance.
Imbalance means what, ma'am?
Imbalance means when you are having some symptoms where you are noticing, say, like here.
These are causes. What exactly imbalance?
Yes.
The imbalance na.
So I'll just share what I did, because I underwent this holistic human health course in 2024 February, and then I underwent this exercise. So based on the constitution type, I recognized my constitution as predominantly C type, type C. So when I underwent that exercise, characteristics. So in 2024, my weight was 81 kgs and I was heavy built, and my energy was almost steady, and I used to sleep longer. I required about 9 to 10 hours of sleep a day, and I really used to walk very slow, and whatever I eat in the morning, I can digest it only late in the afternoon. My metabolism was so slow, and obviously I was obese, and I have this problem of sinus. So I tend to accumulate mucus and fluids. And even if I eat a little bit of heavy food, I tend to gain weight. So these were my physical characteristics. And my mental characteristics, yeah, I was affectionate, tolerant, forgiving, and I would call myself a very lazy person. Here it's written very respectfully as tranquil and relaxed personality. And yeah, I am happy with things as they are. And I don't like things to change much. Whatever is there, I tend to leave it like that. If something changes, I become very tense and anxious. And I really don't get angry that much. If somebody does something, so it's okay, leave it. That's it. So, and when stressed, this was the very major thing I did. Possessiveness, especially in relationships, and also holding on to objects. Even now I have a little bit of that habit. Whatever I do, especially with food, I eat. And even after I know that my stomach is full, previously I used to keep eating. But now what I do, I store it in a small box to eat it later. That keeping things, accumulating things, possession, all those things are there. And obviously empathy and seeking emotional comfort. That was a huge, huge personality trait of me. So these were all my mental characteristics. So causes of imbalance. And I can very well relate cold weather.
Ma'am, 1 minute, ma'am. I am here, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
So you have some characteristics.
Yes, sir.
Because of that, as per theory, you are classified as a type C.
Yes, sir.
Now, what do you mean by imbalance here?
Yeah, see, imbalance is when these come into personality. Being obese is not a normal human characteristic. Because I have that constitution in me, my body, physical body, tends to go into this category. Like sleeping, the normal sleeping pattern is 7 hours. That should be adequate for any human being to stay refreshed for the day. But I require 9 to 10 hours of sleep.
Ma'am, this is a kind of correction. Means you are trying to shift from type C to type B?
No, no, no.
Then?
Not. See, all characteristics, all human beings, the physical body, they tend to remain in balance. So that balance we are trying balance. It is not right. When we see the type B or type A, they would require only very less sleep. They hardly tend to sleep, like 4 to 5 hours. And they remain very restless and anxious throughout the day. So that is imbalance for them. It is not like sleeping 4 hours is normal, sleeping 10 hours is normal. It's not like that. Sleeping for maybe 6 to 7 hours, that is normal. This is for sleep. And digestion.
Imbalance with reference to the natural acceptance, huh?
Yeah, body activity or physiology. The routine activity. See, if, say, I know, myself knows that I should eat this much portion. We have many calculations. For me, for that 80 kg, the required calories in a day would come around, say, 80 into 25, 2000 calories per day. But when I calculated how much I ate, I usually used to eat more than that 2000. So that was an imbalance. When we look at Vata people, for their weight, their calories should be whatever they weight into 25 kilocalories per day. Say if it comes to 1500, they might be eating less. So that is an imbalance for them. So whatever is the standard for a human body, if we are within that standard, that is balance. Anything less or anything more is imbalance. So it doesn't mean that we have to shift to some other characteristic, some constitution. Within our constitution, we can stay in balance. So that is balance. So what I did, so these, for me, the causes of imbalance were cold weather, eating lots of sugar, fried food. I always get that emotional eating habit, and I used to crave for sugar and deep fried foods. That was there for me. And sleeping late. I had the habit of sleeping at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. in the night. So that is there. Allergies. In that hereditary tendency, I have allergies to food, to dust. I had that. And gaining weight and feeling depressed. Stress. We all get stressed, but the mechanism we do to cope with it is, for me, I used to withdraw. I used to isolate myself, be lonely, and keep ruminating about it. So that was one cause of imbalance. So after going into this, I identified all those causes. And so I did the corrective measures. So corrective measures, my lifestyle changes. So now what I did, my sleep time, or I'll start with my waking up time. I wake up now at least between 5 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. and I do all the cleansing activities, and I drink 1 glass of water, not 1 liter like this. At least now I'm drinking 1 glass of water, and I sit and observe my body. And 5:30 to 6:30, I prepare my food for my kids, husband and myself to take for work and school. And 6:30 to 7:15, I do some body postures, breathing exercises. And 7:15 to 8 is my getting ready for work and commuting to work. From 8 till 4 p.m., I will be inside my OT. And breakfast, I changed it from 3 meals a day. Previously, I used to eat morning every day. I used to go to the Satyam hotel here. My husband used to take me. I used to have ghee masala dosa 7 a.m. and then I'll go to OT at 8. Now I have changed my breakfast pattern to 10 a.m. whenever there's a snack break, and I eat 2 eggs. I take eggs. I've stopped non-vegetarian. Meat-based diet I've completely stopped for the past 1 year. I'm into like vegetarian diet. Only white eggs, 2 eggs I eat with some almonds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, dates, and walnuts, and brazil nut. Because I have thyroid issues, so I take brazil nut for selenium. That is it. And I drink 1 juice of amla, 1 amla fruit juice to balance all these imbalances, whatever is there, amla juice. And then after 15 minutes or 10 minutes break, I have a little bit amount of millet for fiber. So any vegetables, beetroot grated or grated carrots or quinoa, just boiled quinoa with paneer in it. So it's a balance of healthy fat, protein, fiber. So that is my breakfast. And I've cut down my meals to 2 meals a day. Now I eat my dinner at 5 p.m., between 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And that again constitutes of fiber, protein, and carbs. So the predominant thing will be protein, then fiber, then carbohydrates. And that carbohydrate, I get it from vegetables, fruits, and millets or quinoa, sometimes red rice and lentils. So this diet I have changed. And I've started like body routine exercises, breathing exercises. That is sort of becomes a regular thing. So with all these things, now I have lost 10 kgs. Now my weight is 70 kgs. And what else to say? Like Madam was telling, my skin has started glowing from last year. So maybe that is a change. And my personality, the getting anxious part, that has reduced a lot. That is also mainly due to putting efforts by working on the self. Development of self also is there. So that also affected the physical health. So my personality has changed. So maybe people who know me, I think Didi can tell more about how my personality has changed. My physical traits have changed. I've lost weight. I've become more active. I don't require that much sleep now. I can handle like around 6 to 7 hours of sleep now. So my energy levels are sustained throughout the day. So this is how my physical body has changed. So this is how I found out my constitution. Whether I am balanced or imbalanced in it, I found that it is imbalanced. So I found the cause of imbalance, and then I did these corrective measures to balance it, and after 1 year I'm here now. And it's a still ongoing process. So it's not that I'm right now in ideal. My ideal weight is around 63 kgs. Because my height is 159 centimeters, I'm supposed to be somewhere between 60 to 61 kgs. So the process is still ongoing, but I know I'm in the right path. So any more doubts, clarity? Ma'am? Yeah, my constitution, the tendency of this physical body is type C. If anywhere along this life, in the rest of my life, if I deviate from this balancing acts, then I'll go to imbalance and develop that physical trait and mental trait of the imbalances.
Ma'am, I have a small doubt here. These whatever traits are written here, these are the very fundamental traits. So let's say my sleep is very easily interrupted, and secondly, my memory is very good, but it's very short term. So whether it comes under imbalance or whether this is correct as per this chart.
Yeah, so whatever your constitution came out to be, right? If with that constitution, supposing, now you may have interrupted sleep, but if you're waking up tired, then it's not right for you, isn't it? Then it is some sort of imbalance only. Once you have identified the constitution, then based on the characteristics that you are facing, you will be able to see that if you're tired, then this is not right. You want to be able to sleep properly. So it is not in balance. Yeah. So for Mirunalini, I can mention that when we came last time, she was a very different person in looks and otherwise from what I can see today. She didn't have so much confidence. She was more with weight. She didn't have this glow on her face. And today I can say she is one of the most responsible, our lead volunteer for health. And of course all the changes you can see in her. And we didn't really say anything, but she has been consciously working on herself, quietly working on herself. So it has made all the difference. And that is possible for anyone to do, I think.
Ma'am, is it not like I can take it as I became more conscious about the health? Like now seeing madam's condition, I am also taking some efforts. Without knowing this, then I am finding some difference. So I thought like I became health conscious now. So by knowing those things, I can correct myself in right way, you are telling. So sometimes if I am going to doctor, earlier days that doctor and all, they find what type of body it is. Nowadays if I am going to doctor also, they are prescribing some medicines. They belongs to those balancing or something they will recommend, ma'am. If I am going to doctor, so this only suits much like that. So they find that way and they are prescribing a medicine for my illness. And also one more thing, ma'am, like since
before you continue.
Okay.
See, we talked about medicine coming later.
Okay.
First about seeing what to do for health. So even if you're taking medicine, do this program for health and then see the impact. So that slowly you don't have to be on so much medication. You can come off medication and do the practices that are required to stay healthy without having to take medicine. Keep that as your target.
Ma'am, I have doubt. You said your constitution is C, but here most of us got double constitution, AB, AC, ABC. So
My predominant constitution is C, but my overall was A, B and C. So mine was like 65 or 70% of C, and the rest equally between A and B. So the predominant is the C type. So imbalances, they tend to acquire more of C characteristics, C traits.
So among A, B, C, whichever we have higher value, so we'll
That
fall
is our
in.
predominant trait.
Then here also we have to segregate like that only, A, B, C.
So see, if some of the personality traits, when I see, I have personality traits which are in imbalance for A type and B type also. Those were also there for me. So I had to work in that trait balance also to bring my entire body into balance. So it's not that I work only for balancing the type C trait. I also need to identify the imbalanced traits in A, B, and work for that also. So my body as a whole comes into balance.
So first we have to look into the constitution which we are having higher value, then median, then lowest. That is the way you are saying to follow.
We can work as a whole. So we can identify, we can set standards, and we can see that first we have to identify that I am in imbalance. So that helps with the health assessment we have. Completely healthy, not so healthy. So when we see that in that grade, we can see that only if we are in imbalance, that will come as unhealthy, at least some degrees of unhealthy. So we know that I am not in balance now. So to find the balance, I need to see what are all my traits in all the three constitutions. If I am A, B, C, find out the traits which are in imbalance and try to see the root, whether it's predominant in the A, B or C, and work on that to balance, working on which type. So when we see, we need not go into this much minute details. So overall, if we balance our intake, our daily routine, and incorporate some amount of labor, exercise, when we follow the program for health, all these three things tend to fall into balance automatically.
Okay.
So it comes to the intake part, for which we need to identify a constitution. Because some physical body types, they tend to agree more with certain food and disagree with certain foods. So what we do to the body, so for that part, we do to the body. For that part, we need to be more conscious about our constitution type. So what we do with the body, that will be same for A, B and C. That is the labor, exercise, postures and breathing.
Okay.
So overall, all these things put together, they bring out the balance.
Okay, thank you, Max.
The doing part, working, putting in the effort is on the body.
Okay.
But
Body is,
to sustain the effort, to have that, what we say, motivation, to sustain, keep it sustained.
Okay.
Because at times we do get the cravings, we do tend to fall back into our old patterns. So when we develop the right understanding in the self, then that acts as, common English term, that acts as motivation.
Motivation.
To keep us in the path. So because a balanced self, a healthy self, it automatically takes charge of the body for the right utilization. That includes proper nurturing, protection of the body, and rightly utilizing the body. So the effort is more on the self, so that I can sustain in this path, but the effort is also on the body. Both are required.
Okay, so these slides, we need to connect with the self and body, right understanding, natural acceptance. That I understood that little bit. So by connecting those things with that self and body, I could able to relate. Okay, that way. Okay, ma'am.